go. All right, everyone, welcome to the weekly stream updates for GitWit. Who would like to go first?
Well, I have a few updates.
Great.
I'll go first. So basically, I was working on the diff viewer when we click on the apply button on the code snippets that our AI chat gives. Then the code snippet, the code that is in the code snippet is applied to the files. So we gotta have some kind of diff viewer like cursor. So I was mainly working on that. So I think I've made some really good progress with it. It's Yeah, it's basically working now. So I'll just show you guys the demo. There might be some bugs here and there, but so far it is looking promising. So I'll just show you. So let me ask the AI chat to add a form here, and let's see. And also, Victor has fixed the issue with the scroll bar of the code snippets and the scroll bar in general for the AI chat. So that is really good. So
Yeah, that's
now,
great.
yeah, it's finally fixed.
Awesome.
Um, and then so now we have this snippet, and then when I click on the apply button, it should show us proper highlights, green and red highlights for it. So the red highlight is basically the code which is to be removed, and the old code, and the green highlight is basically the new code that is to be added into the
Oh,
file. So as you can see, it works. So this was a pretty simple thing. So I'll just show you in a little bit detail, like a small part, so that you guys can see. So I'll just tell it to change this form name, change the form name from contact us to contact me, and also change the labels of the form. So we can just see the really subtle changes that um, it can display there. So let's see. Yeah, so here, as you can see, um, so the contact us, this is the old one, this is a new one, and then basically, uh, just like cursor, we can see what
yeah,
what is old and what is new, and then after we click on accept button right here, the old one disappears and new one stays.
that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
finally figured it out.
I'm afraid to ask what happens if I press Control Z.
Control Z, yeah, I'm working on that.
No, you
One
can do that.
problem, yeah, one problem at a time.
No, that's wonderful. That's really nice.
Yeah,
How did you?
so.
I love the
Mhm.
way that it looks. How did you get the diff, the actual
Yeah,
diff
so
work out?
first I tried Maya's diff algorithm to solve this, but it kind of worked, but there were some bugs that I couldn't solve. So then I changed the approach to first temporarily save the old code, and then comparing the lines of the code, and then I'm using Monaco's diff viewer and the decorations to show the highlights. So yeah, it's a really simple approach. I'm not using uh, any algorithm. I'm just comparing the lines of code that is coming in and coming out. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, sounds like,
it
well, it
works.
looks like it works pretty well right now. So,
Yeah, it works. There
um,
might be some bugs here and there, but we'll know for sure after people start to use it.
yeah, it's a great start. Okay, so we can ship this then, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this and see if you guys have any inputs on this. And I was.
Looks good. I
Mhm.
just wanted to add if it was possible to choose between a specific
Yeah,
difference, like
yeah.
from
That's
each
that's
all the
that's
line
where I
in
was.
the one.
Yeah, so that's where I was coming on to next. I was just gonna say that as you guys saw that we had a lot of differences, line differences. So just like cursor, where we can accept and reject a difference. not the whole thing. I'm also working on a way that I can have this that feature here as well. Like I can select like this. So I change this, right? So I can just reject this and accept the other one. So yeah, I'm working on that as well. But in the meantime, I think we can already ship this and then add that feature on a later version.
Totally.
Awesome. Awesome work,
Yeah.
actually.
Thank you, Victor. Yeah. So this was my part, and I'm also after this I'm also working on some subtle bug fixes here and there, and really looking forward to the new persistence e2b persistence feature that we are using now for the file manager. So yeah.
Awesome. Uh,
What was the last thing
oh,
you said,
oh,
Mr. Akilesh? What was the
Yes.
last thing?
Yeah, so I was just I was just telling you that I'm looking forward to the E2B
Oh,
persistence
oh
feature
yeah,
that
me
we
too.
are gonna add. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's it's looking pretty good. Um, cool. Victor, go ahead.
well, awesome work. So let's go over the PR I did earlier, I think yesterday. So I'm just going to share my Wind tab. Over. All right, so this PR is to fix the authentication issue that we had initially. And when I started looking into it, discovered that it had like multiple parts to it. The first one being the user button. For some reason, we were fetching the data twice. So the data is already being passed in as a prop over here, but from some reason, whenever the drop down is opened, we go ahead and we fetch, and this fails most of the times. Right, it's not consistent. So
Uh,
at that point, users would, whenever they click on like view profile button, the URL would be like at undefined since there was no like username. So the URL would be undefined, so that wouldn't work. That was one of the issues that happened. That doesn't happen all the time, but the one that was the most recurring was this. I learned a lot doing this because I thought it was probably the best way to do it when I initially did over here. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm creating a link. It's this meant to like store the social link, so like um, maybe GitHub links or your blog link and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm going to store, and it's storing that is text, but a JSON of the mode of JSON. So basically, it will be passed as a JSON string to the front end or from the back end. I mean, so I added the default value of an empty array, and this is where I messed up, right? Because I thought this would automatically like pass it and give me an empty array on the front end, but me defaulting it like this ended up me having a type of string being returned on the front end. So anytime
Hmm.
it goes to their profile page, you're basically receiving a string instead of an array. And from this typecasting over here, I've casted it to be an array. So basically, I was expecting an array, but backend was returning a string. So that will cause the parser
Yeah.
that we had earlier. So I had to go through the official documentation and found out that this was the way to do it rather than just putting a string over it. So it took a lot of thinking to figure out what was wrong because the types were telling me was already telling me that I was receiving an array. So it was it was a battle trying to figure out what was actually wrong with. After some hours of moving up and down, I finally figured it out. And one more thing I just wanted to ship in. Just two questions actually, not just one. First is I noticed that our worker key is public.
yeah.
So basically anybody can access the worker.
Uh, yeah. Um, Akilesh and I had a discussion about this earlier this week.
Okay.
Was what did you have an idea of? what you wanted to do there, or is it, or you just wanted to bring it up?
No, just wanted to bring it up because
Yeah,
I saw the like next public prefix, and that meant like it will be bundled into like the
yeah,
front end code.
yeah. Thanks for bringing it up. Um,
Uh,
we we discussed it, and I was going to mention it, but Akhilesh and I discussed it um, earlier in the like last week. We discussed it, and it's a really serious vulnerability. It's basically uh, yeah, it basically just opens up all of the read write operations to users on other accounts if you know the IDs. Um, and it's always been like that. So the solution um, is actually very straightforward. It is just to implement Clerk on the back end as well as on the front end, as it should be. So that's actually that's actually something that I'm working on. But I'm really glad that you noticed that because it's like kind of um yeah.
all
Thank
right.
you. Yeah.
It's
So
like
please, just one more thing
yeah.
I want to share. All right. Okay. So let me just. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to discuss was how we added like the user information after the user signs up. So whenever the user signs up, I'm noticing that I think Brown pointed this out to me when the authentication issue was. So I tried looking into the code and discovered that whenever a new user signs up,
Hmm.
that we directed to the dashboard URL, and in this like app route group, this is where the data like persisting the data to the database is done. So I wasn't sure if that was the best way to do it because it's in a layout. Right, so I'm just concerned about it. I know there's probably a way to perform like an after authentication flow with Clerk, but I'm not really sure about it. But I'm thinking that having this inside
The
would
layout
probably not the best. Yeah.
app
What do you
layout.
think? Because with this, every single time the user comes to this page, this same flow keeps on like this data fetch goes, um, the data request goes only until when it finds out that the user has data, then everything stops. But this request every single time anyone goes to a sort of route group, every single time the request is performed. So I'm just trying to like point it out and see if there's a better way to go about it. So I'm currently looking at it. I saw like there was an after authentication for clerk, but I don't know how to. I'll just go ahead and make my research and see if it's a better alternative to what we currently have. Alright,
Akhilesh,
so
are you familiar with this part of the code? I'm not very familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right, Victor. Thank you for pointing this out.
okay.
What do you think? What do you think we should do here?
So if doing like a bit of research, I found out that there's a middleware. Um, let me just point it out over here. Um, sorry, give me a second. Trying to find it. So all right, so there's a middleware over here,
Yeah,
and it's an alt middleware for clerk. So
yeah.
basically, there's also this function that runs after hot. So whenever like there's a sign up or a sign in, it's performed. So I think it would be a better alternative that we perform this after hot and we input the user data after the authentication is performed. And we only do it once. We don't have to do it multiple times or check if that step has been completed. But since after you are signed up, this step is performed. So I'm thinking maybe that's a way to go about it.
So you're saying that we use after auth here
Yeah,
rather than using it in the app
the
route,
layout.
right? Layout, yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. I'll have a look at it, and I'll get back to you. We can work on this together, and maybe
All right.
we'll find some more vulnerabilities like this.
Okay.
We'll go over the API route as a whole, and we'll see if there is anything else that we need to change also.
All right.
So, Victor,
Cool.
that's more of like just an inefficiency, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
works. There's no error. It just it works.
Okay. Yeah, it's got it.
Make it more efficient. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I think that's all from my end. I worked a little bit on um, Omar's branch, trying to like make
Uh-huh.
the GitHub integration work, but I'm
Hmm.
still facing a blocker, and the blocker is not really familiar with like the backend code. That's actually the blocker,
Uh,
but I'm trying to figure out a way to. I'll just show you that. Move it out here. To get the authentication of the user over here also. Basically, I want to like able to like get the user information to see who the current user is, and I'm not sure how to go about that.
oh, okay. Yeah, that would be good for me to step in then. Yeah, I think that relates to exactly what I just talked about. So,
Okay.
so the backend doesn't have
Authentication.
information. It does have it, but it's trusting the front end. So it's not proper. What we have to do is add clerk for the backend, and basically the front end will send. I sent like a really quick screenshot into the group of how we're going to do this, but basically the front end will
Okay.
send the clerk session token to the backend in a header, and
Right.
then the backend will check that with clerk. So yeah, I'll come back to that at the end.
All right. Awesome.
Okay.
For now, you can
Yeah.
actually use for now if you
All
look
right.
in if you look in server source index.ts
I'm sorry. What's the name of the file?
index.ts.
Okay. Index to TF. All right.
Yeah.
Found it.
So here, um, there should be yeah, oh, yeah, user ID like
User ID.
data.user ID.
Okay.
So so for now you can use this
All
to get
right.
the user ID. It's not secure. It's not secure, but I'm
Mhm.
fixing that later.
Yeah. All right. All right. At least, at least I'll wait to move ahead. I think
Yeah.
that's good enough.
Uh-huh.
All right. Thank you.
Nice work.
Nice was
Very
Victor.
Thank you.
cool. I think I will just fill in what I discussed with Akish earlier in the week. I was traveling, so I think I forgot a lot of things. But what we discussed was basically, let me remember. So w- regarding the E2B persistence layer, that is working, and um, we can test it on the persistence branch. It still needs to read and write to the read and write to the database using um, the Cloudflare database worker. Now, while we were kind of while I was kind of looking into this, I realized a couple of things. One is what we talked about earlier, that the backend is totally vulnerable to user forgery, basically attacks, and then also um, another thing is that we are hosting basically on AWS and on Cloudflare for not really a good reason. We might as well consolidate. So, for example, the Cloudflare worker could be moved to the backend server, and it wouldn't really lose us much efficiency, not with the AWS credits that we have. So So the order that I'm planning to do this in is I will first fix the persistence, because what we have now with the persistence is actually less buggy. Dragging and dropping files and stuff like that is fixed, and there's a lot less code, so it really eliminates a lot of code. And then after that, um, fix the I will add clerk into the backend, and then after that, um, I will remove the Cloudflare worker entirely, so Cloudflare won't be a part of our workflow at all. That will also mean that we can test everything. We can test the whole thing locally. Oh, we may also end up using just a normal Postgres database, which would be also great for local testing. And I think I can get at least the first two items done this week. So
Oh,
and ship
that's awesome.
yeah and ship to prod. So yeah, let's let's do it. Let's get it done.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I can do the. I will be able to complete the viewer with the line per line accept reject
Oh,
feature.
really?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's now that I have something plausible that I have that can work. Actually, I have a way in mind that I can do it. So,
Yes.
and along with that, the control Z thing that we have.
Yeah. Victor, what are your main priority? Yeah, the control Z it's small, but it actually helps a lot when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing
I'm
the code
the
generation. Yeah.
the reason that I mean the reason that I put in after I put that on the list after this dev viewer is because uh, if we have a dev viewer,
Yeah.
I'm thinking if a user clicks on Control Z, it should
Yeah.
also go back with showing the dev viewer as well, uh, with the other changes that was done. So um, so once I have this, it will be easier to like just do it
Yeah.
after that. So that's why.
Cool. Victor, what are your main priorities right now?
I think my main priority is actually just get the GitHub integration out this week. I know there are a lot of big plans for it, for especially like
Yeah.
making sure it connects to the local Git in the terminal or in Sandbox. Well, I think as long as we can get it out, at least the first part of it, you can also keep on working on that and trying to figure out how that works. I think,
Uh,
I, I
wait,
think,
you're
I
trying to
think,
figure out how what works?
how to like have like a connection between the GitHub and the local Git client on the
Sure.
user's terminal.
Sure. To make it work in the so there's kind of two ways that we could do like a git push kind of thing.
All right.
Uh, and yeah, they both have pros and cons. So one is that we don't do git inside the sandbox, and then we do it outside the sandbox. So we first read the files from the sandbox, and then using a separate git client, we push them. One advantage of doing it that way um, is more secure in the sense that um, the container never has access to the user's GitHub repository directly. So you're kind of controlling that. And so that's one thing. That's one thing I think we could actually do. And then the other way is what you mentioned. You could literally just run Git from the terminal. And the way to do this is not obvious immediately, but they have it in the GitHub doc. You first need to generate an SSH key using a temporary SSH key using the GitHub SDK, and then you basically download that SSH key into the B2B terminal container, um, and then you configure the Git uh, in that container to use that SSH key. Um, so that's how you would normally set up. but we're programmatically using the API generating that SSH key, um, which would last for, I don't know, like a limited period of time. And that's how you push using
All right, all right,
you push. Of course, pulling, like downloading the Git repository, pulling or just getting a copy of stuff is way easier because you can just download the files using your Git.
all right.
Yeah. But pushing is hard. You have to do that basically. But
Awesome.
I'd be fine if we don't if we um actually Omar has a solution right now. I'm not sure how. I think Omar has a different way, right?
Yeah, I think it just uses the GitHub client. So
Yeah,
basically,
I think
the
he uses mine.
token
So that might be
and disconnect it.
that might actually be a good way to do it, right?
Yeah, of course, but some of the critical features, like trying to figure out what files have been changed, I think that won't be
Mm.
possible if that is a local.
Oh, you're right. You want to do like a git status,
Hmm.
and the only way to do that is with the local files.
Yeah,
Yeah, so then we would do the second way. That would probably be the second way that I
the
mentioned.
critical.
Yeah. Well, I'm fine with putting that one off for now.
All right.
A couple of weeks. I think if we can do pull and push, then we're doing pretty well.
All
And
right.
commit, obviously. Yeah.
Can work on that.
If we can change the commit messages, even reverting to like past commits, that's really cool, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And maybe there's some way to fake the git status as well.
Mm. Okay. Are there like any other issues, maybe UI issues that you might want me to fix?
Um, other UI issues? Sorry.
He just
Come
said,
again.
are there any other UI glitches that he needs to fix?
Um, yeah, there was actually one.
All right.
Let me show you this. It's just a small one. I mean, I think it's fine, but I just need you guys' opinion on that. So currently, everything was great, just that is as it is. But I think the messages here, yeah. So this
Uh-huh.
the user message color.
Yeah.
Don't you guys think that this is more contrasting the white color?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's quite
True.
shocking.
True.
Yeah, it's
And
yeah. It
do it in light mode now.
light mode will blind me, but still.
Still, it's still shocking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Construct is so much.
So I would say just put the color that was here before. I think it was this color, like the color that is in this input bar, the background color, the gray one. Um, I think that would be more like that would be more good, I guess.
Yeah. I think you could also look at ChatGPT and just to get some inspiration.
Yeah, yeah, and for the light mode, I know that it's white because of the light and gray mode, but there should be something for this as well. Like if there's a light mode, then it should just change it. It should just change to this color and then revert back to the other color, I guess.
Yeah. And could you this is not urgent at all, but can you make the logo when you have a minute, just make the logo change as well?
The
Like have a light mode version for the
oh
logo.
yeah, yeah, light mode. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Then everything will work.
So far, it looks. I don't like the light mode, but it looks good so far. It blinds me.
You can accept that some people use it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to. And then,
Free to just be different.
and then I guess, yeah, everything is good now. Other than that,
If
Okay.
if you and Burhan can both be here, then I can use the light mode and you can use the dark mode.
No, when Akhilesh actually turned on the light mode, look at his webcam go.
oh
It
yeah,
goes all.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, see,
Yeah. Well,
it literally blinds me.
That's hilarious. Maybe it has to do with the monitor. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, but still, I like the dark mode more.
Okay.
Also, like, remember the AWS Bedrock VR?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I kind of lost track there, but I'll look at it this week and merge it. There
alright,
there are some changes that I need to make. I'll get back to you, Burhan, on this. Okay.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll just add on that I did hear back from AWS support, and I just I just need to submit like a formal request for more um, for higher rate limit. That's what they say. So I've had other priorities, but yeah, that should take me like 5 minutes to actually write that, and maybe we can end up using Bedrock.
Okay.
I think we will be able to use Bedrock. That's what I think.
But the changes that Burhan did here,
Let's see.
if
Yeah,
uh, this already works, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
it does.
Uh,
The last comment was basically that it can use both Anthropic and the Bedrock. So it would default use Anthropic if there isn't the Bedrock support, but if you have the API key, it would just use Bedrock.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the last
Okay.
comment was basically,
Okay.
and the
Okay.
user tracking that you suggested is like reverted back to what you wanted it to be.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, I'll have a look and
Yeah.
put it in again.
And it does
Sweet.
work with Bedrock, but the rate limit is ridiculously low. So we'll just, yeah, we'll just test it and then add it in when it's ready, when the rate limit is
Okay.
higher.
Okay. Got it.
Cool.
Okay.
hmm 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 Cool. Yeah, only other thing to add is that this morning Burhan and I were just messing around with Bolt, and we we were able to get Bolt running locally, like like an open source fork of it. Um, so we're gonna try and deploy like a version of it as well, just to play around with. And yeah, I mean it's open source. I think the license is compatible with ours, so it will be cool to basically. It's just something we haven't really done, but like it'll be cool to like see how understand how it works, and then see what kind of um, synergy or what kind of things can be learned from it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. I didn't
awesome.
know that it was available to use locally.
Yeah, the fork. So there's a local fork. We just found this last week. That's why. But there's a repository called bolt.diy,
Oh, okay.
and it allows you to configure any LLM, and doesn't have like it doesn't have like the user's storage, like the backend storage. So it seems to store the projects in local storage.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Oh yeah, it should be very straightforward to set up. We didn't get it working on AWS or Vercel, but um, yeah, in theory, once that's working, like
I'm gonna try with Alpha.
we can just have a free version of Bolt, which would
Oh
be
yeah,
cool.
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And it seems like it's a MIT license, so we're good.
Yeah, yeah. So then we can poke around and see what stuff
Yeah.
what stuff we can get inspired from as well.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Great.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. Great. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Um, look forward to come back with updates on Monday.
Yeah. Thank you,
All
guys.
right.
All right.
See you
Thanks,
guys
guys.
later. Bye.